Greetings and welcome to Elden Ring Requiem, the series where I take on player-submitted builds and optimize them to the best of my abilities. The process will consist of me taking a player's build from the Requiem video comments or from the Requiem workshop in my community Discord. I will then go over the build and showcase its strengths and weaknesses. Then I will optimize it and show off the upgraded version in PvP. So if this interests you and you want me to take a crack at your build, or you have any tips on how I can optimize better, feel free to let me know in the comments. Or again, join my community Discord, link in the description. All this said, have a good one and enjoy. Greetings and welcome to Requiem. The build we're taking a look at was provided to us by this epic lad in the comments. So thank you very much for your build. Let's break it down. Alright, for a build overview, this is meant to be a very tanky strength build using 2 great shields, or 2 shields as its main weapons. Although the build description said 2 verdigris great shields, I only have 1, plus having 2 of these shields as they are somber weapons doesn't make too much sense as you can't change the Ashes of War, so all you need is 1. Having 2 is really just detrimental. For the weapons themselves, we have the verdigris great shield, which is a very solid shield as it has 100 physical negation as well as some decent negations for all types of magic damage. Its overall moveset isn't anything special, pretty similar to all great shields, nothing crazy. It's Ash of War that it is indeed locked into it as it is somber, is Morn's Rush, which doesn't do any damage but has quite the type of knockback potential with that last hit being a shockwave indubitably. For the armor, we have the full verdigris set, which have the best overall defenses out of any armor in the entire game. For talismans, we have the Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman, which will boost our physical damage negation, the Curved Sword Talisman to increase our guard counters, the Pearl Shield Talisman to boost all non-physical damage negation while blocking with the shield or guarding, and then the Great Jar's Arsenal, which will vastly raise our maximum equipped load, helping us run all of this gear. And then lastly, for equipment, our Flask of Wondrous Physic consists of the Open Lion Hardened tier and the Spiked Cracked tier, which will boost all of our damage negation as well as boost our charge attack power. And for the stats themselves, this build is meant to be level 250. I'm running this on my level 235 character, so I'm downplaying it a little bit. The only difference right now is the endurance and strength. On the original build, they're both 99, and on this, it's 88 and 87. Alright, so this build is definitely an interesting one. I would definitely not say it is super viable for PvP. I'm guessing it was definitely made for PvE, as we really don't have any means of doing any normal damage other than through our normal attacks. Our Ash of War doesn't do any damage. It's okay, I guess, for ledging and stuff like that, but that's not too practical, especially in 1v1s in the arena. But nonetheless, let's take it into the forge and see what we get. Yeet.
これがレクイエムだ。
And here we are, Requiem. For the weapons, to keep the theme of 2 shields, I have the Carrion Thrusting Shield as well as the Smith Script Shield. The Carrion Thrusting Shield will be our main offensive and defensive weapon, as its moveset is overall pretty nice. Its running light as well as jumping light is pretty damn solid for roll catching, as well as its blocking capabilities are pretty fine, as well as you can force shield poke through it, attacking and blocking at the same time. And you can choose a grand variety of Ashes of War. I'm going with Flame Skewer, one of the new Ash of Wars, as it's kind of like Giant Hunt with a follow-up. Doesn't cost a whole lot of FP, and it does indeed boost the damage of our shield. When we have the fire active, we are reaching an AR of 873, as well as we do have it quality infused to match our stats. And then we have the Smith Script Shield in our offhand. This will be used for more range as well as chip damage, as we can kind of just spam it with no FP cost really, and it is indeed hella quick with a nice delay, so you can indeed kind of roll catch people if they get the timing off a little bit. For the armor, keeping the same verdigris set as it is indeed most epic, very durable, allows us to be quite tanky, and it doesn't cost a whole lot of endurance, not any more than we can afford anyway. For talismans, going with the Great Jar's Arsenal, or rather keeping it as it keeps us in mid-load. Adding the Two-Handed Sword Talisman, as it does indeed increase the attack of all two-handed weapons, not just swords, so our damage goes up by a decent amount. The Shard of Alexander to boost the power of our skills. And lastly, the Spear Talisman, which will increase the counterattacks we use with our shield, pretty much increasing the attack of the shield pokes as long as our enemy is trying to attack us. And then lastly, for physic, I just changed out the Spiked Crack tier to the Crimson Bubble tier. And for the stats, going with 60 Vigor, as that is the soft cap, going much higher won't yield you a whole lot of return. 13 Mind allows us to use our Ash of War finally enough, as well as kind of necessary, with our endurance being 43, just enough that we're mid-load with the Great Jar's Arsenal and all of our gear on. Strength and dexterity at 80, as we're using a quality type build, as well as quality infusion for our thrusting shield to get the highest amount of raw damage. Alternatively, you could take the 80 out of strength and put it into arcane and go with a blood infusion. You'll get less overall damage, around 600 AR, but of course you'll have some bleed. A fine choice, but I prefer the more raw damage. And then lastly, 15 intelligence, so we have the bare minimum to use our weapons. And when it comes to optimizing this build for level 200, I would up the mind to 18 and drop strength and dexterity down to 60. As 60 are the soft caps, and having a bit more mind to, use our Ashes of War more, get more damage off, is indeed pretty nice. And when it comes to optimizing for rune level 150, I would go with 60 vigor, 13 mind, down to 30 endurance, which means sadly you can no longer use the verdigris armor. You can comfortably, even without the Jar's Arsenal, use the scaled armor set, which is pretty damn good. Although of course with the Jar's Arsenal you might be able to get away with mixing in some solitude armor. First strength going with 73 to get our most raw damage with a heavy infusion, and then dexterity down to 15, the bare minimum to use our weapons. Same for intelligence. But yes, this is how I would indeed optimize this build. If you have any optimizing tips as I'm still learning, feel free to let me know in the comments. As well as if you want to try this build or something akin to it, you can of course always use my level tier method of how to get infinite builds, so you don't have to spend any tiers but indeed try infinite builds. Link in the description as always. But yes, that's enough build stats. Let's go see how it does in the Colosseum. Enjoy the fights. Alright, let's see what we have. Ooh, a wizard with a katana. Hello there. Oh, at the gate, huh? Those are pretty good. Star Shower's good. Alright, let's move in. You didn't expect that I would full 360? That's only good against spells, I think. I'm not sure though. Oh, I didn't. Took that to hit him. I evidently don't know. Oh, better press B. Guess not. Oh, we can say. GG's. Very good fight, very good fight. GG's. Alright, next up. Another wizard. Hello there. Duty. Hello there. Let us commence in combat. Glorious combat even. Study dodge, I guess. Oh, might hit you with the axe. Again. Imagine. I don't want to spam the shield too much, but yeah. Oh, it popped him right out of the air. Those are pretty good. Oh god, he almost cut me in a true combo. Gotta forget to remember to block. Rockage. Jeez. GG's, man. GG's. Alright, next up. Ooh, Smith stripped axe. I have a shield. Oh there. We'll use all of the throwables in this place. Rocket. Ouch. Penetrate. GG's. GG's. Alright, next up. Another wizard. It is wizard day. Hello there. Greetings. Alright, let's duel. No. Don't cast a spell. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright. GG's, I guess. Damn. G to the G's, man. I'm sorry. Smith script shield is kind of busted. Tracking is absolutely ludicrous. Alright, next up. What is this? Hello there. Waves of gold. I can jump through this for sure. Let's go. Do it again.
I can do this all day.
Do it again. Only shield run. Oh. Alright. So we're mashing out of everything. Alright. Very cool. Alright, next up. Dear God. Easy hands. Hello there. What's duty? I have shields for days. Dear God, he's rolling in. Hello there, my friend. Oh, almost got roll caught by that. Oh my god. Edge. It's actually so slow that I might get roll caught by it. Can I block it, I wonder? Oh, I just barely could. GG's. Almost proc madness. It usually always procs though. Damn, yeah, the blocking is just kind of good, I guess. GG's. Alrighty, and that is it for this episode of Requiem. I'm honestly pretty happy with the way this build turned out. It's very fun, it's decently strong, overall good time. So if you have a build you want me to take a crack at, feel free to leave it in the comments below or join the Discord, link in the description, my community Discord anyway, where you can also submit your build in the channels for it indubitably. The Requiem workshop, as they say. Yeah, I'll catch you all in the next one, and yeah, have a good one. Peace.